Talk a little bit about almost Garcia's work ethic. Goes after balls that even the defenders give up on.
Yeah, fantastic. It's so critical to the way that we play that our forwards put in that type of effort. It gains us ground. Even if they don't win the ball, if they're up there pressing defenders to have to knock the ball over their own end line or over the sideline, now we've gained a ton of space. And as good as we can be in possession, and that means a lot. If we can be in their half of the field possessing it and creating chances, that means a lot. So hats off to all the forwards, really. I think they're all working extremely hard and have all had moments in the past several weeks where they've been excellent. So I think we're in a good place at that position.
Can you talk about the move going into halftime? You have the late goal, and then you give up a goal. What do you say to the players, and how do you feel they responded?
You know, it's an interesting situation because I came into the locker room thinking to myself, I need to tell these guys to not let that be a momentum changer, because it could be. You know, to give a goal away such as that at home right before halftime could be a real killer. But then I walk in the locker room and they're already saying it. So the players here are so experienced, I think, and so tactically aware of situations that I don't have to say too many things like that. So my halftime speech was all about where we could get at LA better.
Robbie had a good game by all accounts there. And then I guess could you just kind of share your mindset a little bit, or your thought process in bringing Olmos in? Was that a fresh pair of legs or something you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought Robbie looked a little bit sluggish in particular, and I'm going to have to talk to him, but in particular, there's a lot of balls that were in the air that he just didn't really go for. And so I don't know if there's something maybe bothering him. I felt like he was carrying a knock, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him, so I don't know if that's the truth or not. And I just really thought that we needed some fresh lugs up front, change things.
Jason, can you talk about your team's defensive effort in the second half? Seemed like you controlled possession pretty well most of the time.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, I think the chance that Rodgers crossed the ball across the 6 for somebody at the back post was probably their best chance in the second half. I just think that our defenders were a bit more organized. We had a bit better posture with things to not allow some of their players to get some space in between our midfield and our back line, which was happening in the first half.
The coaching staff and the veterans on this team take a different approach to this game than the game earlier this year in LA, or was it pretty uniform?
No, I mean we take a pretty hard-headed and same approach to every match that we play here. We did have a pretty stern talk yesterday about not making any silly mistakes. I feel that the past 2 matches that the Galaxy's been here, they won both those matches, and they won them because we gave them goals. We didn't make the Galaxy earn their first goal in either one of those matches. Just simple mental errors. And so I felt if we could cut that out, we would put ourselves in a very, very good place. If we actually make them earn goals, make our opponents earn goals, then we put ourselves in a real good place.
Jason, I hope it's not too general of a question, but why is your team scoring so many goals? I covered you guys at the end of last year, and even the opportunities weren't nearly as prevalent. Why is it? Philosophy, personnel, tactics? What is it?
I think that it's a mixture of a lot of things. I mean, I think that first and foremost, you have the confidence issue, the mental issue. We're in the first half of the season. I think when you get towards the latter half of the season, teams get really, really focused on defending. And there's not a lot of space to break teams down. There's not a lot of play in transition because, you know, everybody's coming here with a very, very defensive mindset. And on the flip side of that, when you get closer to the playoffs, your own team is being very, very defensive and a little bit more cautious. So the numbers of players that are involved in attacks is the only difference that I see. I see that when we have, you know, Ned Grabavoy and Sebastian Velasquez and Javier Morales involved in not some of the attacks, but all the attacks, and Kari Stevenson when he's on the side of the diamond, and we have an outside back that's getting forward all the time in every attack, that's when we typically will create more chances. It's a numbers game for me, and numbers means commitment. It's a lot of ground to cover.
Jason, everybody can see the potential in Garcia. What is it that makes him a special player, difference maker?
I think first and foremost how hungry he is. you can tell that this is a kid that really, really wants to do well, really, really wants to take the next step in his career. And he's been, we've given him a terrific opportunity to do that. And I think if he continues to show that kind of hunger and that kind of desire, he has all the tools. And he's an excellent dribbler, excellent striker of the ball, excellent finisher, excellent with his head, excellent pace, excellent size. He's got it all. He's got it all. So for me, the only question mark would come down to desire, and he's showing that by the boatloads.
Garth made the comment earlier this week that you guys have done well this year, but you haven't beaten marquee teams. Does this
your first mistake to ask Garth for a comment? Stay away from him.
Okay. Does this assuage any of those concerns, or the absences?
No, he's true. It's true, and I was thinking about that myself. That when we've played the bigger opponents, the Galaxy earlier, Montreal at their place, we hadn't gotten a convincing result against those types of opponents. FC Dallas as well. So this, I think, could be another step forward for us, another step in our confidence.
Jason, the Open Cup's coming up on Wednesday.
It is?
It is.
Oh.
With this momentum building and the seriousness in which the team's approaching the U.S. Open Cup this year, how are you feeling about your rotation as far as making sure guys have some rest? I know we've got a break afterwards, so
I think the break afterwards really alleviates my thinking about fatigue levels. But again, it'll be a conversation on Tuesday with the guys that have played 90 minutes tonight to see whether or not they're available for selection to start that match, or whether they might prefer to come off the bench. I have a feeling that they're all going to want to play because I think that they are as hungry for this tournament as I am. So I think we're all very much aligned in this year, a little bit of a different approach towards the tournament.
Javier Morales, once again, playing a full 90, playing really hard. Any thoughts on him going forward?
He's a guy that we have a very strong feeling about his fitness level, meaning that when he's really, really fit is when he's his absolute best. And there's just no other way to do that than to play 90 minutes. And I think that he's, towards the end of the game, he's making some really, really hard runs to defend and pressure defenders. So he's showing that he's at the top of his fitness level, and he's also showing that he's at the top of his game. Those things go hand in hand.
RSL hosts the Charleston Battery Wednesday, June the 12th at 7:30. Get your tickets today.